Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the break. We are here now with the third quarterfinals match of the day coming at you in the round of 2 here of the ClanTour 2.0 tournament. I am once again your main shoutcaster, What You Got. I am rejoined here by the one and only Little Fish Panda, aka Ramaty. How's it going, man? We came
Good
off that
morning. Yeah.
exciting series, that 23 plus thousand gold and experience deficit. That's the,
Ah, yeah.
I don't know how the teams can pop that one, but we still got a couple more
hmm
series here ahead of us today. Anything's possible, man. I'm just happy to be casting some Han with
Yeah.
you.
That game was so fire that it lit fire to one of the player species from Hellborn here, and he could not connect. And
Yeah,
so,
so we were at a bit of a break there. I made a joke to you just a moment ago. I was falling asleep. I wasn't really, of course, but stuff happens. Technical difficulties do occur, but we are finally here with game number 1 of our best of 3 series between WillowKeeper here on the Legion side taking on the Paloma here on the Hellborn side. So this is a US East series as far as the servers go. Always like to make a point of that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think these two teams are quite evenly matched. So I think we're going to have a really good best of 3 series ahead of us.
definitely hoping so. And yeah, I just want to point out WillowKeeper all tagged up except for KGE, kind of just being in
There's
there with his Coke
always
tag.
there's always the one guy. I tell you, there's always the one guy. But you know what? Yeah, see, he disconnected. He knows he doesn't belong. No tag.
Yeah.
Get out of here, KG. I'm sure he'll be back. I think I saw him reconnect once or twice. Maybe he's got something going on. But let's talk about the bans and not who's in the game. We got King Clout, Kraken, and Icor going to be banned out here from the Paloma. As there he does reconnect. We have Moira, Andromeda, and the Clank. We do not get to see any Clanks here in game number 1. You
Right.
know what? That's fine with me. We saw plenty of Clanks in last series. We won't
Yeah.
have to see him at least for game number 1 here. Take me through the bans,
We
Mr.
got our portion of
Co-caster.
Clank for sure. And the only ban I kind of am confused about is the Icore ban, or as we like to pronounce it, Itchcore.
It's core.
And
Yes.
it's been heavily nerfed in this hotfix patch that came out earlier this week. And
Mhm.
I reading through the patch notes, I haven't tried it myself, but it seems like it got hit really, really hard. So not sure if it's still first by material. Other than that, King Cloud, Kraken, really, really strong laners slash initiators. King Cloud, obviously also being hit a little bit by the nerf, mostly nerfing his farm capabilities with the staff, but
Yeah.
overall I think it's still really, really strong. And yeah, the Kraken, we've seen it do wonders in the last series even, so no surprises there. And Moira and Andrew are also similar to the last series, both really, really tier 1 supports. And finishing up with the Clanks, I don't have to explain that after the last series.
I see how you didn't mention 2 series ago the Kraken player. Thanks for doing that. Appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have a Magnus first pick here coming out from the Paloma. Can't say we haven't seen Magnus first picked before. It's a very solid hero, very versatile, always a kind of good way to start off your draft. But there's the Flux and the Engineer coming out from WillowKeeper, so they pick up a pretty nice combo there, I would say. That's a pretty
Yeah.
hard combo to team
They
fight
call me
into. It
Scrap,
definitely kind of changes up your style of
and
draft,
him
as you kind of need to
called
always keep that
Vorax.
pull into the energy field kind of team fight presence in mind. But there's a scrap pick, so before we see
Okay.
the third pick, I want to get your take on the scrap there.
Obviously, we've seen it before by run mostly by Backdoor Protocol, another
Yeah.
European team, and it can work. I think it's a very player-specific hero in most of the cases. I think not a lot of teams run this hero, but the stronger the Vorax gets, kind of the harder it is to deal with it. As the Vorax, obviously, every time he's summoned, I believe, gets a bit stronger. So, um,
Yep.
So yeah, the scrap obviously has good lane presence, has one of the best attack animations in the game. I love playing scrap and love last hitting with scrap. And overall, yeah, it provides some, but I'm not sure if it's good enough for like a main core role, like a mid role. We'll see how it works out. And yeah, and then
Yeah, we normally see it as like a mid, but like, what do you
hmm
think of it as like a second support? They already have the Monarch picked up, so that's going to be their main support. They have a Magnus as well, who's kind of we're not really sure yet where he's going to go.
right.
Um, so yeah, it
I'm
could
sure
be a
it
mid, it could
could
be a
work
second
as a
support.
second support. as it always kind of picks up farm with the Vorax, just summon to a lane. Obviously, it's not too recently, but it's been nerfed. It used to get full gold on the creeps, but now it only gets 65% gold bounty if scrap is not nearby Vorax.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one way or another, kind of scrap always gets farm, either
Hmm.
as a mid or as a second support. So I think for that reason also it's maybe more worth it to run it as a second support and just pick up those supportive items to help your team and be an impact that way.
Yeah, one of the benefits of Scrap is that he can out level the opponent in like 1 versus 1 matchups with the
Hmm.
morsels. If they gets lucky spawns on those, that's one of the advantages of a Scrap. As well as he's a pretty good laner, so kind of want to take advantage of his lane presence. But we'll put the Scrap talk on pause for now. Let's talk about the other stuff going on. We see a Malikan being right-clicked. Man, that is when you talk about we saw Clanks and Keeper last series. When you talk about player hero combinations, we also talk
Right,
about Sate Kraken. What more can you think of than Zephyranthe Malikan? I mean,
right.
that's bread and butter when
Yeah.
it comes down to business. So if they don't ban away, they got one more ban left, as we're going to talk about the ones that are banned here in a sec. They got
Hmm.
one more ban to just that Malikan. That's a hero that you don't really want to see on Zephyranthe. That is quite scary. But they have banned out the Switchblade and the Gemini so far from WillowKeeper. Pebbles
Okay.
and the Geomancer from the side of or the Paloma. Sorry. Um, Two more bands
Mhm.
coming up, one per side. But what do you think of the first four
I
so
think
far?
if I was, oh wow, Koget bans Mannequin. Uh, so back to the first bans. I think if I look at what Ria's Gremoni has been banning, uh, it really screams like he doesn't want like he doesn't want the early aggression to have happen. And then what Koget has been banning out is screams for me like it's more like they want to go aggressive trialing and they're banning heroes that are kind of decent against aggressive trialing. It's kind of like the Swiftblade ban that sticks out to me. Where if you go aggressive trialing, obviously the Swiftblade spin mitigates a lot of magic spells, so it is decent to ban out. Though I think the Swiftblade doesn't really have that big of a lane presence in the trial.
Okay,
Oh
Bramble.
wow, okay,
there's the Bramble. We
and
got
yes,
the plant hero. Um,
and
he is good against the Magnus. The restrain quite
mm-hmm,
good. Magnus a very slippery hero. As far as the other ones go, though, not so much mobility on the Scrap and the Monarch. So quite an interesting pick there. When you think of Flux,
Parasite.
I typically think of, they already got the engineer, but I think of heroes like Tempest,
mm-hmm,
Alonia, Chronos, these kinds of big AoE heroes. I don't really think of Bramble. And I think that's because the Vine Wall, it's like unpredictable where like what's gonna get attacked. It doesn't
yeah,
really provide a lot of AoE. It's mostly single target on one guy, kind of hitting and restraining, but I don't know.
for
What
sure.
do you think about the Bramble pick? And of course, they followed it up with a Parasite, so it looks like they are going to be running a jungler
Hi,
this
I am
game.
Sapphire.
So the Bramble pick is kind of a big tank presence, but they already have that with the Flux. So I feel like Bramble's job here is a bit questioned, but
Hmm.
maybe he will just go for all the tanky items, all the team fight items that he will be carrying, and let his team just pick up the portal keys, and he will be carrying like a barrier idol, an astrolabe, and such, providing impact that way instead of bringing other team fight presences like other heroes. So I think it
Gladiator.
could have a place in this draft. Definitely a bit of a wild card pick. I'm excited to see who's gonna play it and how he's gonna play it.
Hmm.
And wow, okay. Oh,
Defiler.
and we forgot to mention that the wine wall does have push presence. So
Yes. So they pick up a Defiler there on the last pick before we talk about Paloma lineup. The Paloma. There is a Defiler, and is this going to be a position one Defiler? Because they don't really have, outside of the Flux. I don't think we really see Flux position one. He's more of like a mid slash position
hmm
three hero. This looks to me like a position one Defiler, so more of an early game
Let's get
style of
it
lineup.
on.
And we did point out the jungler and Parasite, which he's going to be acting like a core without
right.
with no doubt there. It is actually Koget playing the Parasite. Um, Typically, we see Riandro or NotLuishas, who's not here for this
hmm
series, but they
Mind
typically play the mindtrlcks. Yes, that's what he's better known as. Play the parasite. I don't know if I've ever seen Koget play parasite before. Apparently, he was a jungler back in the day, so I think it is fairly
hmm
comfortable for him. But they are running Zephyranthe on the position 1 defiler. At least that's what it looks like to me.
Right.
So quite
Maybe
interesting
Koget
there.
watched your guide on Parasite, and now he feels
Ah,
confident.
stop it, stop it, stop it. I want to talk about the Paloma's lineup. They pick up a Sapphire into a Gladiator. I really like that, and of course I'm going to say that because Sapphire is one of my favorite
Yeah, I
heroes.
know.
But man, I love Sapphire. I'm so excited that Paloma
hmm
picked up Sapphire. That really comes through for me, and I think WillowKeeper is a really good Sapphire player as well. So I'm excited to see that the player hero combination there. But they also pick up a Gladiator to kind of bring that frontline presence. Maybe he'll pick up some tanky items like Astrolabe Barrier to kind of team
hmm
combat these team fight lineup from Legion from the WillowKeeper from the side of WillowKeeper. So I love the Gladiator, and I love it in combination with the Monarch. Monarch plus Gladiator is a really strong duo of heroes in terms of the amount of protection it brings to heroes like the Scrap and the Sapphire. Although it looks like we are seeing second support Scrap this game, he does pick up the Orb. So it actually we
Right.
get the question answered here. It is a second or position 3 Magnus. Excuse me, I'm all over the place here. Um, but yeah, I love the combination of Monarch and Gladiator. I think that brings a lot of team fight sustain to the team
Uh-huh.
of
For sure. And
Paloma.
also the Zapphire's ultimate crystallize gives an amazing reset and disengage ability for an entire team, as it kind of has an immensely big radius that it kind
Hmm.
of freezes everyone. It does not go through Shrunken, to be fair, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many Shrunkens we're gonna see on the Legion team this game, as I don't really see a hero that usually picks up Shrunken. But
maybe the Flux and maybe the Defiler, but again, as you
mhm,
pointed out, those are more maybes than
yeah.
definites. So yeah,
And so, and also letting go of that freeze into a call to arms from Gladiator could be a pretty good wombo combo as well
yeah,
as a
and
setup.
Magnus channeling an eruption, while that's kind of
hmm
holding them in place. Yep, a lot of setup there, potential to kind of disengage from that Flux engine combo as
Yeah,
well. So.
I'm really liking
Uh,
Halpern's draft as well.
Yeah, I think this is a very exciting game. Different style of lineups from the two teams. We're not seeing kind of those cookie cutter strategies that we've seen in some of the other series. So I think this one's going to be quite exciting. Let's talk about the lane setups though. We didn't get a chance to go over that. We have Engineer and Flux going up into the top lane for Legion. Defiler in
hmm
the mid lane as well. Well, they have the jungler and Parasite, and then they're going to be soloing bottom with the Bramble. At least that's what WillowKeeper's looking to do. On the side of the Paloma, we have Magnus and Scrap in the long lane, Gladiator in the mid lane against that Defiler, and then we have Sapphire and Monarch in the top lane. So almost kind of, I don't want to call it TMM style of lane setups, but it is the classic 2-1-2 setup. They are
hmm
not running the jungler on the side of Hellborn. So what do you think of the lanes as they are shaping up? Who has kind of an advantage in each
Right.
lane? Take me through the
What I
bit.
want to point out is top lane, the Flux Engineer is obviously a great combo of heroes, but only after level 6, right? The ultimate combos is what makes those heroes great. So in the laning
Hmm.
phase, it can be kind of awkward with the Magnetic Surge that is Flux's W ability pulling someone out of perhaps a Kexton. So
Right.
they need to coordinate that well to make sure that they don't miss their spells because their heroes are kind of mis-synergetic in that way. And bottom lane, obviously, it's kind of a 2v1 lane. Now, I will say that Parasite will probably have kill potential on rotations, but look at the wards being set up already by Hellborn,
Hmm.
kind of protecting themselves from Parasite rotations, and the top lane just the lane ward to see what's going on. So I think that's a great warding, and I think they will need to grab every bottom rune on the Scrap or the Gladiator to make sure that Legion don't get every rune, as they have placed 2 rune wards.
So we talked about Legion's lineup maybe being a slightly more unconventional. They're running kind of that one role Defiler. Bramble looks like he's position 2 this game. So with the Parasite as that kind of backup core, what kind of items do you think we'll see from the Parasite? He's a hero that has kind of a versatile item build, or yeah, item build. So what do you think we'll see
Right.
from him? Is it going to be more of a scaling build, something like a mock, where he just kind of tries to be like a secondary core? Does he go for that team fight build with like the puzzle box and the auras? Or, you know, is there an alternative? Does he go for some kind of like utility build with disables?
Yeah,
What do you think he should go for this game?
I think the Codex build is definitely out of the question for this game. I feel like
Okay.
because he needs to be a bit more core presence, and I think the Codex is kind of like a I'm gonna kill one hero kind of build, and I think he needs more sustained presence in this team, having obviously no carry, no like conventional carry.
Right.
So what comes to mind is the puzzle box build could work here if they plan on fighting early and then finishing the game, and which I think they are. And other than that, I could also see the kind of unconventional parasite build with the abyssal demonic type of items. So
Right.
I'm not mentioning mock for a reason. I'm not sure how good that build is on Parasite, and I keep seeing it in TM, and I keep losing with it. So
Right.
in my
So,
team, not playing it myself.
so you said the abyssal demonic build. There's not really a whole lot of counter push from Hellborn. You know, maybe the Sapphire Shard can kind of kill waves, but
Hmm.
aside from that, it's kind of lackluster in terms of counter push, right? It's a lot of
Yeah,
poke
for
spells
sure.
like Pitfall, the Zoomerang from Scrap, for example. But you know, outside of stuff like that, it's not like, you know, a Midas just nuking
Hmm.
two spells, boom, creep wave's dead. You know, it's a little slower
Bottom
kind of
lane,
counter
they're going
push.
on the Bramble.
Yep, so here's the Scrap, pounding in the auto attack. So he's got a Zoomerang coming up in 1 more second. There's Boots on the Bramble. He needs to avoid this Zoomerang, but he's not going to be able to do that. And there's the
And
damage
top
coming
lane in
in.
the meantime, Engineer taking a lot of
Engineer's going to use the
damage.
Golden Apple there. He uses the Mine, going to do some return pressure, but there's the taunt coming up as Monarch gets the smackdown kill there. And they do bring down the Engineer. So the Bloodlust did go to Hellborn, and they are off to a 2-0 start. So the Paloma already looking good here at the start of the laning phase, as you know, they do have that dual support, so going to be a little bit stronger there
Hmm.
in the laning phase to start things off.
For sure, for sure. And middle lane, Defiler is not doing that good either against the Gladiator. They are kind of in evenly matched here, but I feel like both of the heroes can put a lot of pressure onto the other, but Defiler is kind of wave of death.
There's a Spore Breath from the
Ball.
Bramble. There's the Lava Surge to prevent any pressure. Nothing further continuous. Parasite was coming in for a rotation there, so Bramble was playing very aggressively.
Alright,
But
bottom
nothing gonna
room
come out
is
from
gonna
it.
be picked up by Defiler. Let's see if this will give him an edge, and top room is gonna be picked up by Engineer actually, as both the
Yep,
Monarch
the
and
illusion
Engineer are
rune.
going
Now he
for it.
doesn't have a keg stun, so Monarch will get to safety. I am seeing that in the Twitch chat they are talking about the overlay. I know we are on 6 minutes delay, but just gonna make a mention of that in case it didn't get fixed. So hopefully that will be fixed in the next few minutes, guys, if it's not already.
Right.
But yeah, back to the game. Okay, so that did get taken care of.
Okay.
Thank you very much there. Gladiator gonna get delivered a ward, I think, from the Monarch, so looking to place that perhaps in the mid lane. He did place that in front of creeps. I wonder if that got spotted, actually.
Could have for sure. Wonder if they did notice it as well. But Parasite looking to gank to the mid lane with the Skeleton King.
Yep, he's coming from behind here on the Gladiator. Now, we don't have level 6 on the Defiler, but there is the Face Hug, and there's the Bottle Sips. The Golden Apple will be used. Is he going to make the escape? There is a wave coming up in 1 more second, and Gladiator, he will get just enough heal. The Call to Arms debuff as well, preventing some of that damage, and he will survive there. A nice escape coming in from the Gladiator. So the Call to Arms definitely saving his life there.
For sure, that's why Gladiator is kind of a difficult hero to gang, as Cold to Arms obviously giving that damage reduction. A huge tool to dodge some ganks, and Bramble has both Magnus and Scrap very low life at the bottom lane, and he just hit 6, so he has the Wine Wall ready to go here, and he's not gonna go for
Yeah, are
anything.
you surprised that he's doing this well in this matchup? He's got 20 creep kills in comparison to the 27 and 8 Magma. So he is still winning the lane here down in the bottom lane, but Bramble getting level 6, as you pointed out, has 20 creep kills. He's not doing all that bad, considering he did go down for a death there early on as he was the bloodlust kill.
I'm a little surprised. I feel like Magnus and Scrap do have a lot of aggression between them if they just kind of spam their spells on him. As Magnus does have a chalice, I'm not sure why that is not a bottle, whereas it would give him more sustain in the lane, as well as the same kind of mana sustain, as well as health sustain, and he could go for runes. But it is what it is, and yeah, I think they need to go. Okay, now that the eruption is up by Magnus, he hits level 6 here.
Parasite
They're
is
gonna
up
go
in the
aggressive
top
on
lane. Yeah, we're going to see the engagement here from Magnus. There's the eruption being channeled. There is no cancel to that. The shrubbery being used here. Is Bramble going to make the escape? No, he will not. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Parasite's coming in from the flank. The Minotaur Storm going to land on the Monarch as the shard is down. Flux taking heavy pressure from the Sapphire. He will get out of range of that shard, and the auto attacks are coming in, but now they're turning it onto Sapphire. He uses the Golden Apple. There's the Crystallize. Will he be able to make the escape as the Filer cuts him off here from the side? Haystern on the Gladiator. He goes for the Pitfall. It does connect on the Engineer, but he wants the Flux. There's the Whip coming in. Parasite does not have a face like to steal this, as there's the Slow coming out. Haystern is running out in 8 more seconds, but he does get the kill here on the Flux, as the Unholy Expulsion from Defiler will force Gladiator to fall back as he ports into the mid lane. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange there in the top lane.
Right. 2 for 2 if you count the bottom lane, killing Dampier as well. But Dampier? Bramble, sorry. Don't know why I
Yep,
said
2 for
Dampier.
2 in total across the board.
So, not too bad for either team, to be honest. Perhaps the kills were a bit more valuable for Hellborn, as they killed the Monarch, I believe. And Hellborn top lane.
Bottom lane, Vinewall is down. Magnus gonna take some pressure. Parasite coming in with the Minotaur. Magnus, he does have a Lava Surge. He's gonna disjoint the Facehog, and he takes out the Bramble with that disjoint. A big play coming in from the Magnus there.
Invite top lane.
Yeah, meanwhile, top lane, there's a dive going in on the Flux. He is going to turn it with the release. Here comes Engineer with the Keg Stun. He is going to get kegged into the tower as the Cocoon, aka the Crystal, is going to prevent some damage there on the Sapphire, and nobody falls. Both sides escape on sub 100 health.
Oh, wow. That was a close call for both of them, and the power supply coming in huge for the Flux, and close call for the Zephyr as well. Not much else to say about that.
Gladiator with a double damager, and he's going to miss the Pitfall, but here comes the showdown into the Call to Arms. That will also miss as he mistimes that pull, and the DD rune not going to be used for a kill here, as he currently is ahead in experience, level 8 against the level 7 Defiler. But not going to be able to net himself a kill there. Both on relatively similar GPMs. Magnus continues to be the top here, 375. So he is off to a good start. It looks like, is he going to pick up the portal key here with the red boots, the marchers? Wow. He chooses not to upgrade them. Do you like that if he does decide to go for the portal key earlier rather than later?
I think it's okay since Legion has a long lane mana. So the earlier he can kind of help out in the lane, the better for him. So I do understand why he's doing it. And he does kind of have somewhat of a build up with the Chalice, so he's probably gonna look to port to this top lane and set up 2 kills, or to the mid lane perhaps, and just kill the Defiler, who has not died yet in this game.
Grap is currently level 6 now. It looks like he did not skill his Vorax, so he is currently stacking the jungle. Magma's going to take some pressure down here from the Parasite. He's going to stun into the trees, and he'll be just fine, or down the cliff rather. But yeah, he's not, not looking to port out, at least just for now. He does portal key defensively. Grap is coming over back to the lane. Top rune will be camped here by Flux. It's going to spawn Haste. Gladiator going to try to steal it, but this will be spotted, I think, by the Flux.
Oh, now
Gladiator, he could be in some trouble. There's the Call to Arms coming over. Monarch is making her way over. Will she be able to get here in time? Going to have to try to do some juking. There's the TB coming out. The Chrysalis. It's going to save Gladiator. They get the Chrysalis. Can Sapphire get in range for a shard stun? Just barely out of range. That would have been just enough damage, I think, if he hit him with a shard to secure that kill. But very clutch Chrysalis coming in from the Monarch. Made her way over there without having the boots as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, we have Defiler in the trees. Or no, sorry, that's Magnus in the trees. Defiler with the Unholy Expulsion activated. That is going to be up for another 20 seconds as they try to push this tier 1 tower. Parasite in the area as well.
In the Vulture
Looking to help push this tower.
And okay, it looks like Hellborn is posted up here, and I think Legion kind of took note of that somehow and realized that they cannot push his tower versus Magnus BK yet. They don't feel comfortable enough to group up and push towers yet. That's probably due to they haven't won any of their lanes like super decisively. They did fine on mid lane, they did fine on bottom lane and top lane as well ish, but I would say that Hellborn came out on top in the top lane. So overall, Legion not really getting what they want out of this laning phase, and that kind of stops them from just snowballing down some towers here and getting the early advantage that they want. Because take note of that, they don't have a carry, so they will be probably on somewhat of a timer.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that assessment. As you know, Defiler, she does bring carry presence, but not, you know, something like a Clanks, which we saw a lot of today. That is, you know, definitely different in terms of the right click potential. Whereas Hellborn, they have both a Sapphire and a Gladiator, which are very good in mid to late game. Bottom lane, we have a Vine Wall coming out from the Bramble. There's a Kexo landing on the Magnus. Now, he cannot use his Lava Surge. He does get stuck in that energy field. He does get taken out there by the Engineer, as that was a 3-man rotation down to the bottom lane. Parasite does go for the Abyssal Skull, by the way, so he's going for the Aura route.
Right.
To try to further that push presence that we've kind of talked about. Mid lane, Pitfall will not be connected there. Defiler using the Siphon Soul to heal himself up and chase down Gladiator, but nothing coming of it.
Yeah, I kind of like what Legion's doing. I think they do need to
Top
take
lane,
out
Shard is down, but Flux will make the distance. There is the TP's coming in. The pull not going to pull them close enough, as Parasite does land the TP. The second one was cancelled, I believe. That was maybe by Defiler. No, that was by Engineer, it looks like.
Ah yeah, definitely by Engineer.
Top lane though, Flux, he's gonna go down. Magnus channels an eruption up there. I missed that one, but Flux just kind of overstepping his safety net of his tower there.
Hopefully the cameraman is better than us in this. And he did not miss that one. Barisa is just sitting in an archer. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is here for Legion, because I feel like this time they would ideally be grouping up and pushing towers, but since they don't have their lead, it's a bit halted here, and they need to make good calls in order to recover, and I think Defiler is gonna go for a light brand here.
Yeah, I think the Dawnbringer is a pretty solid option for Defiler. Kind of brings a lot of mobility to her, as well as some late game presence.
Yeah, for sure. Gives him a little bit more farming capabilities as well.
I think Bramble has his Plated Greaves finished. I saw him buy a Shield of the 5 earlier. He hasn't sent that to him just yet. So maybe he has something else in his stash. Nope, it's just going to be the Plated Greaves there.
Right, he has died 3 times, so he's definitely not having the time of his life, but he's not doing too bad, 200 GPM.
Sapphire gonna take out this easy camp stack with the Shard. You see how quickly that does die. But yeah, you know, Defiler, she's 344 GPM. They're gonna take out this tower here. Gonna boost her up to 350. It's still not the most impressive, but at the same time, the highest for the Paloma is Gladiator with 370 gold per minute. With both Magnus and Sapphire doing relatively the same. Here comes a call to arms into a showdown. He does miss the pitfall, unfortunately, but Defiler gets caught there under the tower. So again, a little bit of a misstep coming out from WillowKeeper. A good catch from the Paloma to capitalize there. We have a port in from Parasite in the top lane. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill this Sapphire, though, with Monarch behind him. There's the pull, it's going to catch. There is the Cleansing Wind, and I am wrong, apparently. They're going to bring him down. Parasite able to steal that quick shield from the Sapphire. Big part of that kill as well.
For sure. I think if he couldn't steal that shield, which I don't believe there's a way he doesn't steal that shield, Monarch would have had time for W, but I don't think Monarch had the reactions or any time for a quick Chrysalis there. I did buy a Shroud on Sapphire. It might have been just a recipe, so I'm not exactly sure, but it could have been a full Shroud.
Vine Wall in the mid lane scrap. Is there a leech? No, it was already used. Scrap's gonna get himself the distance. Meanwhile, off to the side, there's a stun from Magmus. Gladiator pulls him back with the pulls himself back with the showdown. Uses the apple into the call to arms. And how is nobody dead just yet, Ramaty?
Magmus gets an invis
gonna
rune.
find himself an invisibility rune. Will this wave come out? Oh, he's gotta guess. He's gotta go for it. Oh, but he does not go for it. Oh, Jimmy, you make us just a little bit sad, but at the same time, we can't really fault you too much there. So yeah, everyone escapes Ramaty. Nobody lives. Gladiator made the big play there with the showdown into the apple. Magmus gets the lucky invis rune. Everything went the right way. Even Scrap escaping the vine wall. That was close on all directions.
For sure, and I wanted to point out that Parasite buys Blood Rupee is one of the new items that I think built into a puzzle box.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see as well. There's a Magmus stun. He's channeling the eruption here. Defiler's going to go down. Parasite now with no creep. 6 seconds on the infest, but there's nothing in the area. We have another lava surge coming up in 2 more seconds. Here's a showdown into Pitfall. This is a dead Parasite, as it will be a double tap coming out for the Magmus here. Picks up the Ghost Marchers into the Mana Tube. What do you think he's going to build with that Mana Tube?
Oh my, I'm not sure actually. Maybe he got confused and thought that. Wait, Storm Spirit still beats with mana, right?
Yeah, no, he could buy a Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I do think it's gonna be a Storm Spirit in this game, and the reason for that could be that Legion team has a lot of burst in the hero of Parasite and Engineer, so having a Storm Spirit against that, and also the Vine Wall doesn't really allow movement.
Top lane, Sapphire gonna open with the Shroud, with the Shard, and Engineer. He's gonna get his Kegstone off, but the damage is there from the Shard. As we see Flux, he actually didn't use his Astrolabe. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Magmus is going to come in with a stun here. Is the follow-up going to be there? There is the Chrysalis, or the Crippling Pollen actually, from Monarch, excuse me, as Flux goes down 4-man rotation. Meanwhile, in the jungle, they do pick off Gladiator, who, by the way, has a Sword of the Eye all of a sudden. Didn't even notice that one. So some of the big items are coming into play now from the Paloma, as they have not only a Shroud, but they're in the works with a Mock of Brilliance on their Gladiator.
For sure, and to be honest, I feel like Legion's playing a bit uncoordinated, as they are not really rotating away from this top lane with the Flux Engineer, and they're not getting a lot out of their laning phase in terms of kills. So I do think they need to make more decisive calls in terms of gameplay. And they are somewhat progressing in items. Puzzlebox just finished a Parasite. Bramble all of a sudden has a Shaman's Headdress, so he's gonna go for that Barrier Idol. And here is the group up that I was mentioning. They wanted to do earlier.
That tower is gonna go down without any kind of contesting. But we did see the Paloma prior to that fight in top lane. They took out the mid-tier 1 tower, and they also just finished the tier 1 tower in the top lane. So 2 towers for 1. But a tier 2 tower in the bot lane is quite good as well. It does open up the bottom half of the map for WillowKeeper to kind of utilize.
For sure. And yeah, they do need to get the ball rolling soon, because Zephyr is gonna progress with another item soon, and they will need to get the teamfight presence that they want from this game soon. Yeah. Otherwise, Hellborn's teamfight presence is
Parasite is gonna run into Sapphire here, but I don't know if he can go for a solo kill. You know, maybe he's only 900 life, 967 life on the Sapphire, but is it safe to say he's gonna need a Shrunken as his follow-up to the Shroud, or do you think he can afford to go something like the Genjuro before finishing the Shrunken? Because he is up against that Flux Engie combo.
Yeah, I think the Shrunken would be the safest way, but if he was gonna go Shrunken...
Parasite gonna run into Monarch here. There's the burst coming in. There's the stun though. Magmus misses the Parasite with a Lava Surge, and that will mean Monarch does fall. Energy field is down, gonna cause some issues. Will they be able to take it down in time? There's the Flux pull, but the Shard is doing some good damage. It does force WillowKeeper back, and we're gonna see both sides disengage. The Call to Arms is going to miss there, and that will force both sides to kind of fall back. So So it ends up being a kill on the Monarch without any follow-up. A very well-placed energy field.
it's
Magnus
not
is
over
not
yet.
done just yet. He's going to go in with the eruption. It's going to be canceled by the engineer, and Magnus will fall. Vinewall comes down from the Bramble, and this could be disastrous for the side of Paloma as Gladiator. Is he going to survive? No. The final auto attack comes in from the Flux. It will take him out, and now Parasite, he is hunting for more. We do have the port coming in from the Monarch now as Flux, he's leading the front lines though. Parasite jumps in with a face hug. Scrap will survive as the tablet from himself does get him the distance. Sapphire gonna pound in the auto attacks on the shard. Is it gonna be enough? No, Flux will survive as the Defiler does bring down the Scrap. I missed that one. I think that was just a wave in the background taking him out.
It was the wave of Defiler taking him out, and in the beginning of the fight, Legion team didn't have the unholy explosion by Defiler. It was on cooldown from taking out the bottom tower, so that's perhaps why they tried to disengage. And greedy chase by Hellborn, and it didn't pay off in the end. But I think they had the right idea where they want to back, so maybe they have a reason for running away, and perhaps trying to punish that reason. But in the end, I don't think it was very well coordinated, very well communicated, because I think Magnus and Gladiator kind of got ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get any follow-up, and that was kind of a 2v4 in the beginning. So...
And I just want to point out, you know, I would be fine with these kind of engagements if Gladiator went for more of a tanky build, but due to them having the, you know, hold that thought, as we have an energy field, no, that's just a call to arms coming out. Energy field did not come out, and he will fall. They're on the chaser for Parasite. He is going to get caught by the crippling pollen. Pitfall does land, and this will be a dead Parasite. Most likely there, as Magnus does connect the Lava Surge. But, you know, I was going to say, you know, I would be fine with these engagements if Gladiator went more of the team fighting route. But, you know, with the Mach picked up, they have the Sapphire. I think they clearly have late game in their favor. I think they'd be a little bit more content to kind of taking numbers advantage fights versus full-on 5 versus 5s, at least for now.
Yeah, with the Mach build, it's kind of like, he's like a carry, position 1 kind of route, and like imagine if your carry just kind of runs in the front line like that. If you take a carry, another carry like I'd say, I don't know, Shadowblade for example, you wouldn't see him charging in like that. So the same way, same kind of logic applies here. I think if he's going for the carry route, he kind of needs to position and play like a carry, and not just charge in.
Looks like we're going to see him going for the barrier idol. I was almost going to suggest a Shrunken Head, since that would be a little bit better, I think, against the NG Flux combo, but he's going for the barrier, I think, or at least the Shaman's head just for now, following up the Mach. He's going to have that delivered to him. We'll bulk up his tankiness a little bit. But Defiler, she went for the Gnome's Wisdom, following the Light Brand. It is not going to be a straight Dawnbringer. He has the Mighty Blade picked up. What do you think of Defiler's item progression?
I think it's both items give him good sustainment in a fight, and also, well, I wonder if he's gonna actually finish Dawnbringer or if he's going for Shrunken Head. Right. Because they didn't really, as I said before, they didn't really get the start they wanted, so him kind of surviving with that unholy expulsion with the fight could become crucial in this game, and Shrunken Head might just do that for him, so I wouldn't be surprised if that Mighty Blade went into a Shrunken Head instead of the Dawnbringer, but we'll see what he decides to go for.
A lot of players getting low here at the Kongor for the Paloma. Almost got a little nervous that somebody would die to Kongor there, but they're going to take that one out. They do trade off their tier 1 tower, so you see WillowKeeper grouping up there. They have a Haster in the bottle of Defiler, so I think they're feeling very confident to take a fight here. They're going to force the issue at the secondary tower. With the that was an Ice Brand picked up on the Defiler, so she will go the Frozen Light. But speaking of Shrunkens, as I wanted to point out, Sapphire does finish her, so she has the duo of items that she's kind of looking for. They might look to engage here with the Crystallize. Sapphire gonna open here on the Flux. He misses the stun though, does push him back into the trees. There's the Engineer going to fall through the shard. Vinewall is down from Bramble. Monarch gonna use the Crystallize, and she will go for the TP, but the Vinewall will take her out, as it is a 1 for 2. They did get Parasite as well in the midst of that fight, and Hellborn, they will be on the retreat there as they did lose their tower, but they did win the numbers battle.
Right.
Just not feeling comfortable to continue.
But yeah, that's what I said earlier, that the Crystallized on Sapphire is just a great disengage tool, the ultimate. And they utilize that fully. They freeze everyone on Legion and just get out, which is arguably smart because they do take an advantageous trade, and they do have, I think, late game. It's fair to say. So it's better for them to just trade kills here. And also, it is now very much decision time for Legion because no more auto towers on Hellborn. So
Right.
what's next?
Well, they did take out one of the Kongors, so that does eliminate the token possibility for WillowKeeper. Flux does have a portal key, by the way, and he has a Mighty Blade picked up now, so either something like a Frostwolf Skull or a Shrunken Head. Maybe the latter, as there is a lot of magic damage from the side of the
I could
Paloma.
imagine that. Looks
Yeah, I
like
don't
Legion
know if
wants to do
we
their
talked about the
Kongor.
barrier on Bramble. He's had that for a few minutes now. Also has the tablet as well. What do you think about something like a Staff of the Master on Bramble? That's an item that I'm always a big fan of. Kind of bulks up his scaling power.
For sure. I could see that happen. It's obviously an unconventional hero, so an
Yeah,
unconventional item build would just kind of fit here.
and I
And
love
they,
the idea of staffing either the engineer or the flux. I think that makes that combo even more deadly when you have the staff effects added on top of each other.
right. Yeah, I do think it's quite viable, and the Angie staff is really strong. If
Gladiator are going to go for a pitfall here. They want that information, but we do see the ward of sight from WillowKeeper here, spotting out the rotations. This Monarch's going to get opened on by the face hug into the leech. There's the barrier rattle, going to keep her alive. She uses the cleansing wind, following up that crystal. She will survive, so no harm done in the end. But meanwhile, we have a bind wall going on here up at the top lane. Defiler activates her ultimate scrap, most likely going to fall there to the wave. Yep, and Magnus, he gets stuck in the energy field. This is not going to work out for the Paloma, as they do lose two players after surviving there on the Monarch. So kind of split fight coming into play here.
Yeah.
WillowKeeper getting the better of this fight. And that could mean a Kongor.
Yeah,
as,
probably
he's currently
hesitation
clueless, but
on the side of Paloma bringing their doom here because they did. I think half of them wanted to fight, but half of them didn't want to fight, and they kind of just half engaged, and that cost them 2 players right off the bat. And after that, they obviously didn't want to re-engage. So now Legion gets his Conger, but I think Paloma are still. I would say they're still ahead in this game for now.
Kongor has been slain.
yeah, so they still are in an 1800 gold lead. We do have an experience lead. Again, that's generally how it goes when you run a jungler. The team with the jungler has the experience lead. The team with the 2 supports tends to have the gold lead, but so no real surprise in that sense, but still a very even game.
Definitely.
As that, those numbers aren't super impactful in terms of one team having an advantage.
Yeah,
Sapphire. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that overall, how the game goes right now, I think the Paloma has the better chance to win this game. It's not necessarily just the golden experience, it's just how the game is getting played and where we're headed from here.
Engineer just placed a ward of sight on this cliff here, which got spotted out by a counter ward from the Monarch. So that ward, they are aware of that one being there, and that one might get countered in the near future. I wanted to talk about Sapphire. He's got the 3,000 gold. Is there anything other than maybe a possible Gajuro which you think he should go for? I am always a big fan of Rift Shards. I don't think he needs it maybe right now. I think the Gajuro is a fantastic pickup. It amps up his kill power with the slow.
For sure, amps up his kill power, gives him more attack speed, which could come into play with something like a Rift Shards later, where you could attack faster and crit more.
Gonna go ahead and finish the Gajuro there, as we saw the Dancing Blade picked up. But yeah, I love the idea of a Rift Shards, especially against heroes like Flux and Bramble, who are very high health. So having that extra damage from Rift Shards, very, very nice against the multi-strength core lineup from Legion.
Right.
We see the Bulwark, excuse me, just picked up on the Parasite, following up the Puzzle Box and the Abyssal. He's got that holy trinity of items, maybe wants the Demonic in the near future, but already having the amped up Puzzle Box now with those auras, very, very powerful. Defiler did finish the Dawn.
He is going for Shrunken after all. I don't think anything else comes to mind as a possible item for Defiler here, and that will give them a bit of an advantage. at least in the fights where Defiler won't just die to the combos of the Hellborn, and will definitely sustain a lot of his damage. So I definitely agree with that pickup. And as you said, like in the beginning of the game, the two heroes that could pick up Shrunkens do pick up Shrunkens in the end, the Defiler and the Flux.
Yeah. There's the glowstone on Bramble, so it looks like we will see the staff, which
Amazing.
I love that pickup. The one I wanted to say I don't like in response was the Magnus. He picks up the Spell Sunder. I'm never really a fan of this item unless it's like super late game where players have like 3,000 health or something. I think honestly Magnus could have went for even a Shrunken and it would have been fine because he's fighting into that engineer combo, which kind of really disrupts him. Blocks pull, by the way, gonna catch Monarch here as bottom lane Sapphire just will push the bottom tier 2 tower. That one does go without any kind of defense coming up, and he's still going for more at the base here. This is one of the strengths of Sapphire, able to split push those lanes very quickly. But WillowKeeper takes advantage of him being down there, and they are going to go cutthroat at the tier 3 tower here. Forces out the Glyph. Yeah, the Eruption is being channeled, does land on the Engineer. There's not going to be enough for a kill. The energy field does come down. Parasite is in the midst of the fight, as Flux did not have a pull, remember. He did use that for the Monarch kill. Parasite going to get kicked out of his creep. Is he going to go down? Yes, he will. The Rift Shards, one gets picked up by the Sapphire. Does crit him down. Defiler is going to get auto attacked down by the Sapphire. It is a double tap coming out for Luishas there, as Flux will TP on out of there. Engineer gonna go for the juke into the port out. There's the dust, and the whip comes out. A good heads up presence of mind there from the Gladiator with that dust, securing a third kill there in that fight as they do hold their tier 3 tower here. And look at what's going on top lane. Look what's going on top lane, by the way. Just a casual Vorax pushing the tier 3 tower, getting it to about half life there. Can't forget about the Vorax.
Yeah, and as I said, you see Scrap, even though he's second support, he's building into a Sheaf Stick now. He has 2 other items 32 minutes in, so he's quite farmed, sitting on 106 last and 300 GPM. So yeah, as I said before, it always gets kind of farmed.
Yeah, he's, you pointed it out. He's basically the same GPM as the Parasite, who, that's the hero that's trying to give Legion their advantage with that jungle pick. As we have the shard down, blast the creep wave. Flux is going to get pulled in here, and he's going to get locked down by the Gladiator. He cannot make the escape. No Shrunken on him just yet, as he's still lacking that little bit of extra gold that he needs.
That was
for
a
that
bit of questionable positioning. I think maybe he thought he's tankier than he is. I'm not sure. He just kind of ran in and normal when you defend the high ground, you kind of stay on that high ground, but he just kind of went to the low ground and died and got showdown.
And, well, you talked about him being tanky. Wait till Sapphire picks up a Rift Shards 4, and we're going to see.
Oh, there it is.
There is the jump coming in. They're going to miss their initiation as the shard was down from Sapphire. Just get taken out. Puzzle box is activated from the Parasite. He's trying to find a target here as we see a full fallback coming out from the side of the Paloma. They got the kill, and I think they're pretty happy with that. They didn't really break any tower damage, but
yeah,
it forced them to sit.
Paloma is playing really well with the disengages. They always get what they want and then just get out. So props to them for doing well, and as well as Legion kind of getting a little bit impatient, perhaps even with that middle push where they just kind of went high ground when they didn't. Well, I would say they did have the Monarch pickup, but that's not the biggest impact kill in the world. So that was kind of overconfidence and impatience by them, I think, and they really need to focus now to not make any more mistakes and try to bring this game on.
Sapphire picks up another Dancing Blade, so he's gonna sit on that Rift Shards 1. He's fine with that, it looks like, and it looks like he's building into a Wingbow. I don't think that this is going to be a Spike Bola, as we have WillowKeeper making their way over. Magma's going to get a 3-man Lava Surge. Here comes the shard damage from the Sapphire. Is it going to be enough, though? There's the Barrier Rattle activated from the Bramble, the defensive energy field. As Flux goes in with a pull, they're trying to get the catch here. Magnus is going to get caught here, but there's the Crystallize coming in from Sapphire. And as you said it, they get what they want, which is that Kongor. No casualties coming at a cost. And man, that was a beautiful Magnus Lava Surge, but the shard just wasn't enough damage to bring anybody down. Maybe if he had a Rift Shards 4, maybe we would have seen some big explosions.
That would have been pretty amazing.
But I'll keep my fingers crossed that we get
Be
to see some
patient,
Rift
Beans.
Shards
We'll
4
see
action.
it soon.
I'm gonna hold my tongue for now, but contain my excitement for this
Yeah.
Sapphire pick that I love so much.
With the
But
speed he's farming, we're gonna probably see it soon. And Gladiator getting run down by this puzzle box here. He's gonna kill it. So
yeah,
it's
he's gonna
take
use
a
the
lot
call
of
to arms.
damage.
It's gonna blow up the puzzle box, and here comes Parasite with the Faceless Spore Breath. It is going to connect, and Gladiator, he's not gonna make the escape here. By the way, what do you think of the Lightbrand pickup on Gladiator? I do really like the portal key that he's chosen to go for. Following
Eruption
up that
channeling in the
Barrier.
top lane. Going on a
It lands onto
Parasite
the creep
here.
here. The Spell Sunder gonna do some solid damage there as Monarch comes in. She will secure the kill there, and somebody pointed out, I believe it was Flux as engineer. He will also make the port out, so they did sacrifice Parasite. It ends up being a 1-for-1 when the fights do end up concluding there. But we do have Invis Sapphire here in the mid lane. She does see both the Defiler and the Bramble. She goes in with the shard, and look at the damage coming in as the crit comes in at the end there. One more auto attack is needed, but the Siphon Soul will get Defiler the distance that she does need. Sapphire is on the hunt with the Genjuro. Here comes the Kexun. It's going to miss. There's the slow coming out of the Genjuro proc, but the defensive push from the Flux is going to save the life of Defiler. They did everything in their power there, Ramaty, coming from the Rubbery to the Keg Stun, unfortunately missing, but the defensive push from the
That
Flux
was
as well. That
mission and a
was
half.
great teamwork to save the Defiler there.
Yeah.
I'm sure the comms were very hectic there as Defiler was under threat of death there.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful, but yeah, good job by them in the end. It was saving Private Zephyranthe, the movie. But
He was the
what
president
what we
there.
were talking about before, the Lightbrand on the Gladiator, I'm not sure. Maybe he wants to build a Dawnbringer, which is a carry item, so I would kind of understand it, but at the same time, I feel like he
What
he
about
has
something like
better options.
Frostfield Blade or something? Just
Yeah,
further
or
enhances
Malik.
just enhances tanky presence. He's already got that mock and the whip for damage.
Mhm.
I feel like just kind of being able to sit in that front line with something like a Frostfield Blade or a Heart and just really soak damage for Sapphire to kind of do her thing.
Yeah, I'm not exactly
Yeah.
sure what that Lightbrand is about, but he might complete it into Dawnbringer in the end. And
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
think
hate it, but
Grimoire
I
really
don't
makes a
think
lot
we
of
need it.
sense. I
Yeah.
think the spell damage is not like that impactful.
Prominent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and the cooldown reduction is not really like 60 seconds in call to arms. What else do you want to reduce on that?
Right.
It's pretty low already.
And then Magnus, he goes for a follow-up to the Spell Sunder with Spell Shards. He's really focusing on
Okay.
magic damage. I feel like they already have enough magic damage. So they have the Gladiator, they have the Sapphire. I feel
Yeah.
like something like a Sheepstick, something like a Hellflower, even a Shrunken Head we pointed out earlier, very good for combating the Engineer Flux combo. I think this is a little overkill on the Magnus, but we'll have to see how it
Right.
ends up playing out. We do have the Sheepstick, however, on the scrap, which that is a very big pickup for the Paloma to pick up. As Sapphire, she's going to run into a wave. Here comes the Magnus. Eruption being channeled. She does initiate, but there's the Trunketed from Defiler. And Flux, he does have a pull. He's going to use it here. There's the Crystallize to kind of stall the team fight as they are on the chase here. Scrap does fall, and Paloma is going to split up here. So they initially started that fight. They did not get the kills that they were looking for.
Oh my
And
god.
the fight is continuing here. Engineer Field is down on top of the Vine Wall. They will get the kill onto Magnus, and this is not what the Paloma was looking for when they started off that engagement with the Sapphire stun into that eruption.
Mm-hmm.
And it
I think
all
that's
went
a
south
little
when
bit of a
Defiler got her shrunken head
Play
off.
by Sapphire to give a chance for Defiler to react. I think if Magnus just PK stuns him after channeling Eruption, I don't think he...
Sapphire, she does not have her shrunken, but she has the wingbow picked up. There's the shard down, the damage, and she's gonna bring down the bramble. The shard does actually get killed off, and now Flux gets opened by the Genjuro. And look at that damage, Ramatias. They will get the kill there on the Monarch. 2 kills going the way of the Paloma. They're trying to get the catcher on the Defiler, as there's a dust, and that's gonna be a 3rd kill. Savage 6-3 comes out for the Sapphire, and the ports are gonna happen from the back line here, as both the Engineer and the Parasite make it to safety. But while this was going on, Vorax takes out the tier 3 tower at the base.
Oh my
and
god.
it's going to be an exposed Rex as well.
Oh damn. Well, what are you gonna do when one hero can bring down 2 of your main tanks when you're pushing uphill?
Yeah.
How do you do this Legion team? I am not
That
exactly
was,
sure.
now that was some exciting damage to see coming in from the
Yeah.
Sapphire. He just
Did he have
melted
the
the two
level
frontline
4?
heroes.
No, he's still level
No,
1
it's the
Rift
level 1 Rift Shards with a wing bow picked up.
Are we
Buyback
gonna
comes
see the
in from
first
the
Rex ball?
Defiler here, as he does have his Shrunken Head and his Unholy Expulsion ready to go. Fortification is used. There's a Mousetrap down on the floor as Engineer is trying to get in range. There's the Storm Spirit, but there's the Sheepstick from the scrap. The Pitfall comes down, and Engineer, he cannot get his energy field off. He will fall. The Mousetrap does stun up the Bramble as the Shard is going to get... No, it's still alive. Call Times comes in. There's the Flux Pull, but Bramble does fall first, and it's a hat-trick for Sapphire. It's not going to be a quad kill, as that one is going to be a double tap coming in for the Gladiator, and that will do it here, Ramaty. A huge team fight. Game number 1 here at 41 minutes with a 24,000 gold and 12,000 experience lead.
Whoa,
Final thoughts on
exciting.
game 1.
Exciting game. Congrats to the Paloma team. They really pulled this off, and looks like Legion team didn't quite have the strats figured out for this draft, as I feel like they kind of missed their timing. They didn't get as good of a laning phase as they hoped, and that really delayed their timings to push and group up. And by the time they did, you saw how Zephyr was already above 500 GPM, way above 500 GPM, and kind of just wrecked their front line right away. And not a lot they could do after the point where Zephyr got his Genjuro and shrunk ahead. So yeah, well played from the Paloma. Always disengaging at the right time, always just taking taking the advantages and then just getting out. So good game, well played.
Yeah, I think the laning phase went very well for the Paloma and WillowKeeper. Although they were able to push all the outer towers at a relatively good timing, I think they kind of didn't get what they had hoped for in terms of the laning phase. And Paloma really capitalized here. I think this was very well played by them. A couple of questionable item pickups, perhaps from some
Right.
heroes, but ultimately it did not matter too much. And very well played to them. They're going to take game number 1 here, so they will be leading the series. We will go on a short break here, but we will be getting game number 2 started very shortly here. So stay tuned, ladies and gents. Game 2 coming at you very shortly between WillowKeeper and the Paloma.
Captain's pick.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, from the break. We are here now in game 2 coming at you between the Paloma on the Legion side, taking on WillowKeeper here on the Hellborn side. The Paloma currently leading the series 1-0 as we just came off that very short break. So hopefully you didn't go anywhere, because we are back once again with some more action. Again, I'm What You Got, rejoined by Ramaty here. So Ramaty, that was a pretty exciting game. I got to see Sapphire. I'm happy. Hopefully somebody picks Fish today so you can be as happy as I am.
Yeah. Too bad the pandas didn't. I really expected them to. Damn it.
Ah,
Oh well.
those darn pandas, man. Well, you know what? That's why they're out of the tournament. They lost
Exactly.
their quarterfinals
Deserved.
match to Big Ego Crew. But you know what? That's all right. Hopefully there's still some more series today. You know, maybe we could see
Let's
a Fish
talk
pick
about
today.
teams that are actually in
Let's
the
talk about teams that aren't kicked out of the tournament already, for God's sakes. Will we see some Fish today? Who knows? Hopefully, if they don't pick it up in this series, maybe Doghouse is listening.
You got your Zephyr.
They'll come
I
through
need
for us,
my
right?
fish.
Somebody will pick up the Fish.
Yeah, Snooky, if you're listening.
Snooky, pick up Fish. So anyway, bans are done. King Clout, Kraken, and Icor coming out from the Paloma. Monarch, Clanks, and Magnus going to be banned out here from WillowKeeper.
Okay, pretty similar to previous game. I think the Paloma has banned the same heroes as last game, and Koget has changed it up a little bit with the Magnus ban instead of something else.
Cthulhu.
And Monarch, yeah, right. So yeah, I think last game definitely influencing those bans a little bit, and Rias Gramoni not really afraid of any hero besides those that they banned in the first game.
Rally.
Yeah, so we have a Cthulhu font first pick here.
Geomancer.
Pretty solid start. You know, a very, very annoying tanky hero. Typically played in dual off lanes, sometimes as a solo. Very, very annoying for carries to deal with. Always in your face, dealing tons of damage. They're gonna pick up a rally into a Geomancer here from the side of WillowKeeper. You know, we typically see Geomancer as a second support. Do you think we're gonna see rally position 3 here in game 2?
I could see a rally gym as a
overcompensation,
lane
if you ask
together,
me.
as I think they've run it before against, I think, Doghouse or Big Ego Crew in the Honest tournament, not in this one.
Okay.
And that lane works really well, as they both have escapes, and the rally can even help the Geomancer escape if they jump him heavily. So, as well as they do have a lot of pressure and presence with those stuns. So, really, really strong lane combo. I do think that's gonna be a long lane dual lane. Uh, if I know Tree well, and I got some
Yeah.
inside info that last game Tree was getting really heavy lags, and apparently Zephyranthe had 5 Hons open at the same time.
What? Wow. Well, he didn't play that bad. I mean, at least from what I
Right.
saw. But hopefully he's down to 1 Han. That'll probably increase PC performance. But
Right.
let's we're gonna have a scrap into a Moira pick on the second and third pick. So they're gonna go with the scrap again. And, clearly
Mhm.
it worked for them in game one. They're gonna try it here again in game
Mhm.
two. As spectators, I don't think we can really appreciate the kind of counter push that the Vorax provides. It feels like they would always take a fight when the Vorax was, chugging down a lane and
Mhm.
they would get some building damage in. We wouldn't really notice it as casters, but I'm sure the players could kind of feel that. So,
Yeah.
we'll see if they get the same presence from the scrap this game as they did
Mhm.
in the last one. But the Moira, I think that's a fantastic pickup, especially against these hard to kill heroes like Rally and Geomancer. Having the Mana Sucker is quite a
Gladiator.
powerful tool.
Oh wow.
And, it's also going to be really good against the Gladiator Call to
Yeah,
Arms, which
I was just gonna
um,
say.
which they did just pick up there on the third pick. But before we talk about the next pick, let's talk about the bans. We have Sapphire, Gemini, and Oogie. So there is the Sapphire ban. That
Mhm.
one did prove to be very strong in game number one. Again, a little bias from me. I love the Sapphire, but not going to get to see it here in game two. So I think that ban was warranted. I think that it was played very well from LuWishas, so they do respect ban that one. Predator, Swiftblade, and the Madman going to be banned out here from the Paloma.
Interesting.
Um,
As I feel like
yep,
perhaps the Swiftblade was a good choice for Legion to pick up against the Rally Geomancer combo, but maybe he wouldn't have the reactions to dodge the Rally stun with the spin. But overall, I think Legion's bans, Predator, Swiftblade, and Madman are pretty strong, like lane heroes, beside where they have like magic immune or some kind of escape. So perhaps the Legion team is planning something aggressive again, because they ban those heroes,
Infora.
and those heroes, either have an invis getaway in the Madman or a magic immune with the Predator and Swift. Quite strong tool against some man up lane.
we did talk about the Gladiator, the Nymphora, fourth pick here from the side of WillowKeeper. That's a really aggressive lineup. They have a lot of global presence between the Geomancer and the
Hmm.
Nymphora with the scouting, with the Geostock, the eventual Nymph TP with the team support. So definitely safe to say they're looking for like the early portal key on the rally to try to get that ball kind of rolling. But Gladiator, very solid choice there as they did play against the Gladiator last game. The Gladiator was definitely impactful for the Paloma, but it's going to
Yeah.
get stolen away here from WillowKeeper, at least this game. But there's the Drunken Master. We talked a lot about Drunken Master, I think, this tournament. He's had
For
a great
sure.
showing. Um, Now, there is a lot of crowd control for him. There's a lot of stuns. There is the
Hmm.
Gladiator catch. So there is ways, I think, to catch him and kill him this game. But, he is always very slippery and sometimes deceptively tanky with his drink ability, giving him that debuff
Yeah. Also
and stuff.
the debuff reduction can really mess up the stacking of the stuns on the Hellborn team. Like they think they have longer than they have to
Right.
for a follow up stun, and that can give Drunken the edge to just kind of stagger out of there right away. And so it is gonna be very, very hard for Hellborn to kill him, even with like a gladiator that can showdown him.
They were shadow picking the tarot, which I think they were thinking about that bind for the laning phase, kind of being able to set up kills on the rally and the
Mm-hmm.
Geomancer. Something that also comes to mind is something like a Calamity, which we saw LuWishas play. I don't know if it was in the Honest tournament, but
Tarot.
he
Oh
does love
wow.
those ranged carries, and they do go with the tarot. So that is, that's a very interesting pick. I don't get to see a whole lot of tarot, but I think it could definitely work this game.
Mm-hmm.
The one issue I have with the hero is that it is very squishy, similar to like a Sapphire, but doesn't have that kind of defensive capability of the shield. So if
Right.
they do catch him, it's going to be very, very tough for him. He's going to have to really rely on the Moira to save him this game. But you know, if he gets the farm, man, this hero doesn't really need too many items to start pumping
Hmm.
out crits. So it's
He
kind
has
of
the
similar,
built-in
like the
rift charge.
Sapphire. Yeah, it's kind of like the Sapphire for me. Like, you know, it's exciting to watch, but this could either go really well or I feel like it could also backfire. It's kind of like a
Hmm.
50-50 with the tarot. So
Right.
they do have that Drunken Master as kind of like a backup, whereas they had the Gladiator in the last game. So I kind of do like the way they've allocated the draft. Very, very solid
Hmm.
here. Again, running the second support scrap. So we could see something like a Cthulhu Font scrap long lane.
I
What do
will
you think we're gonna
say,
see from WillowKeeper here? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I will say Legion team initiation not that reliable this game. Last game
Malakin.
they had the Magmas, they had the Gladiator, right? So they had
Hmm.
tons of initiation. This game kind of only the Cthulhu Fun, maybe the Drunken, Moira Illusion to set up. Not as reliable as last game. So it's gonna definitely take a bit more coordination and teamwork to make this lineup work over the previous one, where they just kind of had a lot of spells that were great for teamfight, and they used them correctly. And
Oh,
Malikan,
swap,
okay,
swap.
swap. Where
They
is the
didn't swap.
Zephyranthe
There's
Malikan?
no Jimmy Malikan. Oh
Okay,
no. Koget's gonna
there.
play the carry this game, so they are gonna switch up the roles. But they do run the Malikan, excuse me, which I think, you know, if
Right.
he gets off to a good start, I think he is quite scary for the tarot if he's, you know, fighting him mano
Hmm.
a mano. I think Malikan definitely gonna win that battle early game, but you know, super late game or mid to late game, I think Tarot, when she gets a couple of items, I think she can definitely fight back the Malikan. So that's an interesting matchup between the Malikan and the Tarot as far as carry versus
Definitely.
carry goes.
I think
Do you
if
think what?
Malikan gets to go up close and personal, definitely dangerous. But as well as against Drunken Master, Malikan is not a bad hero because the possession, obviously reducing a lot of escape from the Drunken, and Malikan can catch up quite quickly against the Drunken with the sword throw as well. So not a bad hero against the Drunken either.
No, and I was gonna ask you, how do you think we're gonna see the two teams lane? Is it gonna be kind of straightforward, like 2-1-2, or do you think we'll see either team run a tri lane this game or a dual mid, for example?
I
Because the way
kind of
I'm
expect
looking at the
to want to
yeah, the way
from
I'm looking at
Hellbar.
the picks right now, I think it's gonna be 2-1-2. Um, I
Yeah.
think we'll see Rally Geomancer versus Tarot Moira, and then in the bot lane, and then we'll see
Hmm.
Drunken versus Gladiator mid lane.
Yeah.
And then Scrap Cthulhu Font versus Malikan and Nymphora top lane.
Yeah,
Which
I do think. I
yep.
mean, the Cthulhu scrap is kind of a scrappy lane, hahaha.
Oh, that's a
uh,
big pun right there.
and I'm not sure if they have that much kill potential, especially against if Nymphora gets levels and maxes the heal. And Cthulhu Fun doesn't really have burst damage. He's more about that sustained obliterate damage. That is his W spell. Um, so I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to bring down the Malikan in the lane. Uh, in oppose as opposed to Malikan and the Nymphora, I think will be always able to kill the scrap.
Okay.
Obviously, let's say not always, but they have better kill potential than the scrap.
Hmm.
And the Rally Geomancer versus Moira and Taro is gonna be an interesting lane as a double range versus melee farmer. So the melee farmer is gonna take a lot of hits every time he walks up to last hit, the rally that is. And they will need to watch themselves a lot because if they don't kill the Taro in the initiation, I think Luscious has bought a lot of golden apples last game. And he's gonna eat that golden apple and they're gonna be turned on us. I think once the initiation is over, Teru can buy the distance from those two heroes to just kinda stay out and attack them with his spells.
Yeah. So definitely turn potential with Moira and Tarot is very high. Um, yeah, I think you covered it quite well. I think it's gonna be quite a game too here. And I think Kraken, or no, sorry, not Kraken. That was last series. Drunken versus Gladiator. We actually had a Kraken versus Gladiator matchup
All
earlier
right.
today. Drunken versus Gladiator. I think that's quite even. A lot of sustained damage from Gladiator and a lot of overtime poke damage from Drunken Master. I think that one's going to come down to maybe rune control. Any big runes might just swing the mid matchup in either side's favor. But
Omega ready.
some melee powerhouses going at it mono.
Yeah, you predicted the Kraken versus Drunken be even quite well. So I'm expecting your prediction here correct that it's gonna.
Oh,
probably
don't put
come
that
down
much pressure on me. I'm
to-
wrong half the time.
If Beans is incorrect, chat, we're gonna flame him.
Yep. And if I'm right, drop some dabs in the chat for me.
All right.
Couple wig dabs. Easy.
All
All right. But I think we're almost ready here. We are at a pause, so kind of talking things over here. Would you
wish we
be
could
surprised
auto
if we don't
scroll.
see 2-1-2 from both sides? Like, is a tri-lane going to surprise you?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't really see how Moira would fit in that tri-lane too well. And neither really the Nymphora. Well, she could provide a lot of sustained mana for them to constantly harass with their spells, but at the same time, once Rally or GMS is stunning, they're committed. So it's not really harass damage rather than it's kind of going for a kill right away. It's less of a poke, right? They can't really just harass the enemy. They either commit or don't commit.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's a case where both the Malikan and the Tarot they aren't the best solo laning carries. They kind of need a babysitter. If they're in 1v1 matchups, they could potentially, suffer on farm a little bit. Whereas with the support, I think they are exponentially stronger.
Right. And yeah, we look to be right. It's gonna be a 2-1-2.
Oh,
And
so
yeah,
many apples being bought makes me so happy.
apple trees grow in Han nowadays.
I really love the addition of Golden Apple and Lunar Tier to the game. I feel like it just brings another dimension to laning phase, which is always good to see the game
And it
kind of
makes for a lot of possible
changing up
big
a little bit.
plays. Yeah.
Yeah, just that burst heal at 80 health can be like a difference of an auto attack or two, which allows for those big plays to kind of come in. So I love it.
Yeah, it's quite flashy too. It's nice. And almost everyone has one. Let's see. 3 on the Hellborn team, 4 on the Legion team. So 7 out of 10
Hey,
players.
I just updated the wig guides, like last week, and people are taking note of it.
That could actually have quite the impact, as if it's in front of you in the shop, right? You're more prone to buy it rather than if you have to look for it.
Yeah, and then we can always tell who still uses the old shop.
Yeah. Wait,
So-
Jimmy actually uses Zephyranthe actually uses the old shop. I know that. So he has.
I know, it was just a little. I was hoping you would say that. That's why I gave you the little cue, and you didn't disappoint me, so that was good. I gave you the old cue to say it. But yeah, it is going to be what we were expecting. So I think that just kind of comes down to the predictability of the heroes they picked. I don't think the lanes could be too flexible in terms of how they decided to allocate the heroes in each lane. So it's going to be 2 action-packed long lanes, and I think mid lane, I don't think we'll really see a kill until a rune comes into play.
No,
I would be
2
very
brawny
surprised if
boys hitting
either
each other.
these
I'll
two
have
could
my
kill
eyes
each
on the
other.
bottom lane here. I think this is the one I'm most excited about to see how the rally will fare against this. The rally geometry will fare against this lane. And
I
top
like
lane,
the
I don't.
positioning of Moira there in the trees. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was really smart. Gets the stun down before Rally could react with a counter stun and possibly a kill. And you see how Rally doesn't really dare to walk up to last hit versus 2 range. So yeah, they're working on that lane control with that pull.
So
and okay.
So neither side blocked the pull as we have an
this could be
engagement
a
here on the
bloodlust on the
J-Mancer. He
field.
doesn't have the dig. He already used it, and that's going to be
apple?
there. It will be the bloodlust kill. Yeah, he had the apple. He didn't use it. He used the health pot. There's the apple used from Moira. Now Rally does not have mana, and this could be a double tap coming in for the team. Taro and oh, there's the apple, but one more auto attack. The slow from the ricochet, which he actually skilled there. Level 1 is enough. And that's a big start from the Paloma as they pick up 2 kills.
For sure.
1 on Moira as the Bloodlust will go to her. And then the second one on the tarot, she picks up the second one.
This is kind of what I was saying, that Geomancer and Rally, they don't harass, they commit, right? They both
Right.
stunned in, and they didn't bring down the Moira, not even kind of close. And they immediately got turned on, and they had no more escapes. I don't know why KG didn't use the golden apple. I think he might have survived them.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it would have been
yeah.
close.
So now they really need to focus on getting some levels and getting the damage up, because this lane doesn't really have a lot of spell damage. It's more of the rally auto attacks that bring a lot of potential damage to this lane. Rally Geomancer, that is.
Top lane Cthulhu, I missed this one, but he gets very low. Looks like he will feel just fine though, as the spells are on cooldown. But a sword throw into a stun once an Nymphora gets mana. She's using that mana potion currently. That could be troublesome, as he's feeling the pressure. I think he just sent himself a health pot. Yep, he's gonna heal himself up there. But how's the creep farm going? We have 10-1 on the Cthulhu font, 9-1 on the Malakan. So this long lane from Paloma, the Paloma, going to be a little disruptive for the Malakan so far. But
right.
Mid lane, Gladiator winning so far. He gets a haste rune here at the 2-minute rune. That is, every time I see haste rune at 2 minutes, that always is just so scary to me. You know, getting that first rune to be haste, it almost kind of secures you get the next rune, it feels like. Or it secures that somewhere there's going to be a kill happening. As we see him courting to the bot lane, and you know, this could be the recovery that they need in this bot lane. Hatred on the Gladiator. Moira gonna get caught here, as they are gonna outnumber 3 versus 2. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Nymphora does go down. I missed that one on the camera, but Moira, there's the taunt. Gladiator will get the kill there, and Taro gonna have to kind of just let it happen, as you know, there wasn't really a way to save Moira there, unfortunately. Or
Oh,
get
he's
a
coming
return
back
kill.
for more.
Yeah, he's almost kind of faking that he's gone. Taro, she's going to get pitfalled up here by the Gladiator. There's the stun. And Taro, he's going to use the golden apple, but it's not going to be enough. And it's going to be a double tap for the Gladiator. Here's another showdown. They're thinking about going back in. No mana for the dig stun. There's the power supply into the stun, as Rally doesn't have mana for the compel. Another pitfall lands, and Moira is going to fall. The Gladiator being down here for about a minute straight is going to cause a third kill, and that's going to really recover the spot lane that initially started very well for the Paloma. Yeah, Invis Drunken Master, so he gets the bottom rune. This could be a kill here on the Geomancer if he can get in range. He wants the rally though, gets the auto attack. There's the lunge after the stagger, and that is the kill that they wanted. More importantly, Drunken gonna TP back to his mid lane to continue farming. But while Gladiator was gone, Drunken Master did take a lead here in creep kills, but with the kills, Gladiator gonna be still at about 405 gold per minute, a little bit ahead of Drunken.
Yeah, definitely good job by Gladiator rotating there. Now he did lose some of his advantage in creep kills middle, but I think helping his teammates to kind of get...
There's a punch from the Drunken Master. He's gonna doing him in the air, and he's gonna maybe miss the pitfall here. No, it does connect, as he didn't go for the stagger there to kind of avoid it, but did get pulled back from the showdown just before.
Yeah. And this is the time where I think Drunken's gonna start
going in once
advantage
again.
in
There's
game.
another doing. One more auto attack. The bottle sips are coming in, and it's gonna save Gladiator. 13 life will be his saving grace there, as Drunken Master, he was not in range for a final auto attack.
Right. I was just gonna say this time where Drunken starts to get ahead in the lane in terms of laning presence, as he can do that with a very low cooldown every time to Gladiator. And it's not like it's his ultimate cooldown or anything, it's just 2 of his spells, so... Definitely a lot of harass on the Gladiator, and he will need to be careful in the future.
He gets the health potion delivered there, he hits level 6, as Drunken actually decides to go back to base, ports back to the mid lane. As the 6-minute rune, it's going to be camped here by Scrap. He has a bottle from the Cthulhu font. Goes for the pitfall here, gonna miss. Is the mousetrap gonna stun him up? Oh, he gets a haste rune! No, Gladiator gets it in the bottle! A huge call to arms, and the Zeal stun from Nymphora right in time. Drunken Master goes in here, but he could be in some trouble now. This was not the right decision, as the haste rune is going to prove to be so powerful here. Gladiator, he misses the pitfall, but they're on the chase, and it looks like Drunken is gonna make the escape. That missed pitfall going to be the difference maker there. Yeah, that's 2 haste runes in 6 minutes, Ramaty. Bottom lane, we have an engagement here on the Taro. She is already, she did already use her Ricochet, but the compel not going to be up from Rally, so both parties fall back. Meanwhile, mid lane, Gladiator, he's going to showdown himself with the TP. He does heal with the bottle
Smart
sips. Gonna
mechanic.
get some regen. Yep.
No, bottom lane,
lane,
Terror's
there's the
gonna
dive
die.
on the Terror. She will fall. Moira is holding her ground as the team support's coming in from Cthulhu Font. I don't know if they're going to be able to get another kill here. There's a Shards of Harkon stun up in 2 more seconds. But Rally is a little bit too fast here. There's the Forge spawn. Moira going to stun him up, but it's going to a little bit too deep. I think Cthulhu Font wasn't feeling safe going that far.
Wonder if he had the shard stun cooldown, so that's why he didn't do it earlier. Think so.
Yeah.
5-5 in hero kill lead, so quite an even game here. As we haven't really talked about the top lane, but Malikan is coming out with 35-2, 280 GPM, so not the best, not the worst. Cthulhu Font about the same, difference being mostly the kill on Nefora that they got. So both teams kind of getting a decent amount of farm out of this top lane, as I don't see a lot of stacks in the Hellborn jungle yet. I think once Malikan starts hitting levels 6-7, they are gonna look to make some stacks and take him out with the Malikan or even the Gladiator to get some extra farm.
So Drunken, he continues to be the top farmer here, 415 gold per minute. He finds himself a Mystic Illusion rune down there at the bot lane. And currently we see top lane, here comes the rotation from Gladiator. Cthulhu Font in some trouble. Will there be any TPs? The mousetrap is down from the scrap. Cthulhu does stun in, but he gets pulled back with the showdown. Also RM securing that kill. Gladiator does pick up the kill. Their possession was used as well.
Here comes Drunken
Bot
to the
lane.
bottom lane.
Moira gonna go in with the Mana Sunder. There is the jump from the Drunken Master, and Geomancer is gonna be forced to use the Dig Stun to safety. We see kills happening on both long lanes for each side. On both the position 3 farmers. There's the Zeal or the Nymph heal pod, but it's gonna be blown up early. Get through the pump ports into the tower.
Right. And
Drunken Master's gonna go in. He has the illusion rune. Will he use it for some extra punch damage? He's trying to get on that side there. Doesn't get the 3rd strike to hit, so no doing, as I love to call it. It's my favorite word, doing. But Gladiator's gonna be just fine there.
I just wanted to say that, yeah, I do think Legion needs to protect their Tarot because Riley's level 6 out top lane.
Yep, top lane we have the heal coming out. Malikan gonna get healed up. There's a pitfall coming in. It's gonna land onto Cthulhu Font. There's the showdown as Malikan uses the green sword. He does not port to it though. Doesn't want to get stunned up by the Cthulhu Font. Here's the obliterate activated, and he's gonna turn it around. He gets the stun or the kill there on the Nymphora before the stun does come out. So it is a 1-for-1. Crap falls back and will force the Gladiator to port up here to aid the Malikan, who does use that health pot. But yeah, bot lane, you said it. Rally is level 6. The threat of that slam now.
Yeah, and I don't think Moira's stun is quick enough to cancel the slam if they initiate with it, right? If Moira casts it after the ready stun, I think the delay is too long.
There's a bind coming in from Taro. He's gonna get pulled right away. Stun comes out and the Mana Sunder, and Rally cannot compel, or actually I think he did compel and he got pulled back. So that was a funky game mechanic there, but that's the power of Taro's bind there on that 3rd spell, that Bound by Fate, holding Rally in place.
I think
haste rune on the Geomancer, by the way. 3rd haste rune here in the first 10 minutes. But I don't know if they can kill the Drunken Master. They will need the setup from Gladiator into a Crystal Field, which I don't know if that is that going to be enough damage. He currently has 29 charges on the drink, so very deceptively tanky, as I like to
Gonna be hard to set that up. Now they have 4 heroes here though, so perhaps that's gonna be. But Gladiator kind of positioning himself a bit too aggressive. I think that kind of gives a clue to Drunken that they're looking to do something here, as he was just kind of taunting himself on the Legion side of the map.
Drunken goes in first though. He's gonna stagger away. No showdown comes out, because he might have lost vision there. Geomancer shows himself on the tower, so they are aware now of what's going on. As Rally also gets spotted on this Ward of Sight from the Drunken Master, so a lot of time wasted here from WillowKeeper. Not gonna get themselves a kill there on the Drunken.
And Nymphora does hit level 6, so Legion team needs to be aware of that Nymph TP every time they make an engagement now.
Bot lane, Rally misses the compel, and that could be disastrous. Moira gonna stun up too. Crystal Field does come down. It's gonna force them to reposition as the Bound by Fate will lock down the Rally in place, and there is going to be the kill going the way of LotLuishas. Here comes the portent from Malikan. The sword throw will miss. The possession is up, and Taro is now on the run. The pitfall will miss as well, but there is a dig stun gonna connect. Showdown connects now on the Taro as the Soul Trap comes out from the Gladiator. Call to Arms is going to secure that kill, but Drunken Master from the backside does doing Geomancer in the air, and that will be one kill. He is thinking about going from behind here to try to set up the kill onto Malikan, and Malikan, he could be in some trouble here. There is a lunge up in 2 more seconds. He's gonna go in. Can he get the doing up? No, yes he can, as he does get pulled just in time there, and Rally comes in with a slam. There is a Moira shard, gonna stun up both. Drunken Master's not done just yet, but he's gonna stagger away. He's got that Soul Trap debuff on him. He might be just fine there, as Gladiator gets mana with the Chalice for a pitfall. He's gonna go for it, and it will connect, actually. A beautiful pitfall, and Drunken will get pulled back from that showdown. Moira now also gonna fall. The taunts are up left and right, and 2 more kills go in the way of WillowKeeper. It is now a 12-10 lead, still in favor though of the Paloma.
Oh wow, that started really shaky for Hellborn, and they missed a lot of spells. Unfortunately, they missed the Crystal Fit. Oh, Geomancer just walking into 2 heroes casually.
Yeah,
here.
Geomancer, he's in a pretty offensive position. He's looking for
stun.
something to bind the Geomancer to, but no target, as he does use the Far Scry there, kind of revealing the Nymphora's position. But meanwhile, Vorax putting some tower pressure up there in the top lane. Cthulhuphon tramples in. I think he's just saying hello though, but well, there's support coming in. Malikan, he does not have a fear for 9 more seconds. Here comes Gladiator with the showdown into the Call to Arms. Cthulhuphon, he's tanky. There's a stun as Geomancer and Nympphora come in. They rotate 4 players up here to bring down this Cthulhuphon. So I think he's definitely regretting using that trample there.
Yeah, he said hello, but Hellborn's team said goodbye.
But Hellborn said goodbye.
Yeah.
The hello turned into a goodbye.
Indeed. Rally is gonna be fine at the bottom rune area. Okay, just gonna running around, but his rotation to the mid lane is gonna be spotted, I think. I don't think these 2 heroes can bring down this.
There's a stun from Rally into a slam, catches Drunken. He's still relatively healthy here. There's a Soul Trap as the Geomancer is gonna force him to fall back and right back into Rally and Gladiator. So this Drunken, a couple of deaths back to back, and it kind of slowed down his momentum. He was 450 gold per minute, now only 350 as the tower falls top lane to the Malikan. Cthulhuphon tramples in. There was no team support. Here comes the Obliterate. It's going to take out the Nymphora. Malikan has a sword throw coming up in 3 seconds, but it's not going to be needed as Geomancer comes in from the flank. Meanwhile, bot lane, the tower does fall in favor of Taro. Picks up the Astrolabe and the Brass Knuckles, so going to build up a lot of stats there for the early game. She has recovered nicely, 413 gold per minute. But
Yeah.
the top of the game belonging to Gladiator currently.
Yeah, I like the early game item build from Taro. He can always get the late game later, and yeah, Geomancer really picked up on the rotations here, and he's been involved in a lot of kills lately. But the shining star for the Hellborn team is definitely this Gladiator with 8, 1, and 3 score. He's been involved in 11 out of 13 kills, so really impressive performance.
Showdown on the Drunken Master. Here comes the Crystal Field. He jumps in on the Rally, but there's an Arcane Vortex going to prevent the follow-up. Nympod is down. It's going to be not blown up immediately, but there is Rally going to fall there. Overextension coming out from the WillowKeeper, as there was no kills in their favor there.
And yeah, I guess that's gonna be the end of it. 1-4-0, I believe, in favor of Legion.
So Drunken, you know, he's had a good start. A couple of deaths. He hasn't really bought any items. What do you think he's going to go for? He's got 2,000 gold saved up. Or what would you like to see him build toward this game?
I think a lot of Drunken monsters do buy a Helmet of Black Legion to give them that little edge of tankiness that he needs, and then he becomes even more slippery with that. And could also be a Soul's Bulwark that I've seen before, kind of going that armor route, and like I've seen Soul's Bulwark.
I think you're gonna get caught here. Pitfall gonna land on the Drunken, but there is the 3-point strike, gonna send him in the air. Geomancer did use the dig stun. Auto attacks. The bind comes in from the Taro, but there is the Gladiator slam in the background. And the scrap does fall. Rally's gonna get doinked in the air. He gets punched. He's getting pushed everywhere. As Malikan, he's gonna pour it in on top of the Tarot. No, he does not have it. He does have an Astrolabe. He's gonna use it there at the last second. He sends him in the air on the Drunken Master. Tarot will survive. Navora's trying to chase down the Tarot. Meanwhile, Drunken Master and Malikan are battling it out. The Stagger will take him out. And Tarot and Cthulhuphon will take out the Navora. Geomancer snipes out the Tarot in the back row, getting the double tap, but I think it will come at a cost. Ramaty as a couple more punches from the Drunken Master. He's boxing him down, but there's the trample from Cthulhuphon as he did pick up that portal key, which we failed to mention. Picks up a double tap as well. And I believe that was a full genocide coming out from the Paloma, as only Tarot fell in this fight. No, Moira and Rap
Moira,
fell early
Tarot.
on, so it was a 5 for 3.
Yeah. It was back and forth, but definitely Legion's favor. And I think Hellborn is gonna look to pick up some core items here. Gladiator is gonna pick that Sword of the High, so he is going the Mokrad as well. Which I think maybe perhaps a more teamfight oriented Gladiator build could have benefited them a bit more, but
look at what Drunken Master's going for, Ramaty.
oh, he's matching it. They have the same items almost.
Yeah, they're both going to block. Here's the trample from Cthulhuphon. It's gonna catch the rally. There's the Steel Stun though, breaking the stagger. Or the lunge, excuse me, from Drunken Master. I always get that mixed up. But here is the slam coming out from the rally. Does connect on the Drunken. And there's the Arcane Vortex. Gonna avoid that crystal field. Will they make the escape here as Moira jumps in with the Stars of Archon? Drunken Master will make the escape. A beautiful trample from Cthulhuphon. Stunning 3. The heal comes down from Nymphora, but Geomancer falls as well as the rally. Crab sacrifices himself as Malikan makes the escape there with the Soul Trap from the Gladiator, and they're not done just yet. Moira cannot get in range for a Star Stun. No, she does, as it was put on the Cthulhuphon. Regen Rune on the Drunken Master, gonna maybe cause issues for them as Malikan, one hit in the background. Drunken Master chasing there on the Nymphora. He's duking in the trees, and they do get the kill onto the Gladiator. Drunken Master can't find the Nymphora there as he's forced to fall back, but a huge fight coming in once again from the Paloma. 3 kills for 1 in their favor once again.
You really see that Moira pick coming into play there, just completely countering Hellborn's initiation, and only the scrap dies in that fight from the Legion side. You would think that Hellborn brought all 5 of the heroes, used all of their ultimates, they would bring down more than one player, but only the second support scrap is gonna die, and Koget dies.
Malikan falls to the Cthulhuphon. Wow, I was not expecting that to happen there.
He was really low from the fight before, so perhaps he didn't get the regen enough to survive that Cthulhu jump with that portal key. And they do not have any vision in their own jungle right now in Hellborn actually. But as a matter of fact, they don't have any wards at all on the map. And I think they're gonna look to change that soon, as they need to
Bottom
get
tier
their
2 tower. Pitfall's gonna connect. They do get the tower. Here comes the slam, but it's gonna miss. Drunken Master's gonna hold his ground. There's the call to arms stunning him up, but there's the whip coming in from Gladiator as Tarot does bind them together. She does have a ricochet coming up in 1 more second. She will get the 1 kill onto Rally, and she will hold her ground. No, she will fall, but Gladiator does die first, as it is a 2 for 2 fight, and it's not done just yet. Crystal Field is down. Scrap will get stunned up. There's the heal pod coming in from Nymphora as Moira and Scrap are here. Cthulhuphon with the Obliterate as well. Sword Throw is in. Malikan is here, but there's an Arcane Vortex stalling the team fight. She jumps in with the Shards of Harkon. Gonna stun up both the Malikan and not gonna connect on the Geomancer. Pitfall does miss as well, and Scrap will go down to the Sword Throw here from Malikan. So a very messy fight. It was a buyback, by the way, from the Gladiator. So they do get a buyback there on the side of WillowKeeper to be used from the Paloma. And I think it was a 3 for 3 fight with the tower falling in their favor and a buyback. So Paloma expanding their lead further.
Right. I think I'm gonna use a bit weird language here, but Hellborn needs to chill out and get some items, because they don't really have any. They don't really have their core items finished. Now there is the PK on Geomancer. I don't know if he had that in his last fight, but I think the Rally needs to pick up a core item, as well as the Malikan needs another item before they can fight this much. I think they're a bit over excited to fight at the moment, and I think they're not quite ready yet. It's not their time to shine yet.
So how does one chill out without Glacius in team?
Right, just to bring in another
Too soon?
Right.
Okay. So Mock is finished on Drunken. Mock is put on hold for Gladiator because he fought back. So, all right. I don't know if I've ever seen Mock on Drunken. What should he go for next? You know, you hinted at like kind of bulking up, something like a Bulwark, something like a Helm of the Black Legion. Does
I
he
would
just
like
go
to
for
see
something
him.
like a Shrunken now, as we're kind of approaching mid game, mid to
Oh,
late
yeah.
game stages?
Shrunken could work wonders on Drunken here. I think him, you know, that Mock presence is always gonna deal damage around him, so he doesn't need to do anything, just be in the fight. So
Right. It just needs to be running
items that
around like a
allow
drunk
him
man.
to just run around like a drunk man, and the Shrunken head definitely, the Drunken head definitely allows him to do so.
The drunken head. Okay, I like that. That was a good. I give you style points for that one.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I'd like to see Hellborn team utilize this Forest teleport a bit more, because I don't believe they have. I feel like it's just sitting there, and she could use it to just ward the enemy jungle even, as Max likes to do. Shout out to
Man,
Max.
if your
by the way.
jokes were as good as your Magnus, we would have maybe won game 1 today.
No.
I'm just kidding. That was too much. That crossed the line. Okay, all right. So, Cthulhu picks up a glowstone. I think staff, pretty staple pickup for the Cthulhu font. Makes everyone attack him. That's really good. Maybe he'll get a barbed armor after that if the game goes that long. I always love the combination of staff and barbed on Cthulhu.
Yeah, for sure.
Malikan, he's working towards Whispering Helmet, looks like. Maybe the Shrunken will be his next pickup.
Oh,
Mass
must
TP's coming in the bot lane. Will they get the catch that they're looking for, though, is the question. Cthulhu font trying to line up the trample. He will catch the Nymphora. As Moira's trying to get the catch on the Malikan. She does have the Arcane Vortex. I think it might be just barely out of range. There's the compel from Rally to get him the distance to safety. Now, Gladiator, he's feeling very confident with the haste rune. Drunken Master's going to chase him down, though. And he's going to lunge away there. There's the bind from Taro. And Gladiator and Rally taking heavy pressure from those crits. And they're both going to fall. The Crystal Field does get avoided by the Legion Sidus. Geomancer now going to get auto attack down. It's a hatcher coming out for WillowKeeper there on the Taro. And just like that, he has 537 gold per minute. Sporting the 10 and 5 stat line. He picks up an Energizer and a Firebrand as well. So a lot of early game items, but we're seeing the power of Taro, man. The crits are coming in. And look at how fast those heroes melt, Ramaty.
For sure. And the two heroes getting bound by fate, instantly dying there, almost quickly. And now they're looking to turn this into a base push. Legion team
Pod will be blown up. Cthulhu taking some heavy pressure here.
Oh, is he dead?
Almost dies to the tower, actually. That was a little awkward there. I think Taro had to use the Astrolabe, if I'm not mistaken. No, that was actually used about 10 seconds earlier. So he did just survive the tower hits, but they are going to fall back. Meanwhile, look what's up in top lane. The big rat is up there pushing. They're gonna have to need to defend that. You can't leave the big rat alone for too long.
Taro pulling up to 4.3k gold. What do you think he's gonna buy? Is it gonna be the finished Dawnbringer?
Hold that thought, actually. Drunken is going to get saved here by the Arcane Vortex. Is he going to fall, though, is the question. The Kongor Rock is not going to hit on the Gladiator, but Geomancer does fall first, and Drunken is going to survive coming out of that Arcane Vortex. That is crazy how he survives. I thought he was dead for sure, but they do bring down both the Gladiator and the Geomancer with 0 casualties, Ramaty. That Vortex was spot on.
Right, and looks like Hellborn just wants to keep fighting here. And I don't know whether Rally going for straight staff is the correct choice here, because I don't see him getting off his ultimate without the Shrunken very soon. So maybe just those two, instead of those two items, if he had a portal key, he could set up a lot of ganks with the Geomancer together. And with those two heroes, I think do have the kill potential of a lot of heroes on the Legion team, but with just going for the staff here, I'm not sure, but maybe he's gonna get it off and it's gonna be huge one time.
Taro just bought a Shroud and a Frostburn. Well, the Icebrand component, but there goes his 5.6k gold.
Oh,
it was very quickly used, and he just crit the creep for 760 damage.
He's gonna start to hurt a lot. Okay, TP to the bottom lane this time.
Yeah, this Taro could be in some trouble.
Do they have it? It does. Yeah,
there's the Moira spawn. Oh, she didn't have the Vortex for 12 seconds. So,
yeah,
that's gonna be pretty easy when you break 5-1.
That was definitely an important start of a comeback for Hellborn, and If they do come back, it would be amazing to see 2 huge comebacks in one day in this tournament. So I would like
yeah.
them too.
That would force a game 3 as well. You know me in
More
game
Han.
3s. More Han,
Yeah.
yep. The big rat's trying to keep game 2 keep game 2 going though up here in the top lane.
Right.
Force some reactions, but did they use well they used the Niv port, so I think they do have their TPs up to defend this Vorax up here. But we have a lot of control from Paloma up in the Hellborn's jungle. They have these water sites up here. So they will see if any rotations come in to defend the Vorax. Staff is finished on the Cthulhu Font. That is a pretty big pickup. Drunken did go for the Shaman, so
Staff
not
is
going to value
finished
the Shrunken.
on the rally as well. So now they have that to work with. So I'm looking forward to him buying a Shrunken next. So because I do think he needs that. But once he gets that Shrunken, he's gonna be a force to reckon with for Legion, because that plant is a lot of damage, especially if he does get level 16 in the process too.
So I think Geomancer just scouted out the Kongor. He saw the red dots moving over there, but I don't think this is a fight that WillowKeeper can take on the high ground with no vision. They're gonna concede this one. Very quickly done. It looks like they were actually kind of rotating over, but just not gonna be there in time. Now Drunken Master has an invis room. He is gonna lead the way, try to spot them out here. Not gonna
They need to be careful about Dig. But Dig is on cooldown for 20 seconds. Geomancer is gonna place a Rev Ward here, so he's gonna spot out Junker here. So Drunken Master really needs to be careful here, as I think Geomancer really wants to go for him, but gonna choose not to just yet, as he didn't have the most team backup.
And now gonna be used here by the Tarot. She gets dusted. Drunken goes in though on the Malikan. Trample comes in on the backline. Rally and Nymphora getting stunned up. Malikan taking heavy pressure. He turns on the Incendiaries. There's the heal coming in from Nymphora. Is it going to get blown up? Not in time. Malikan does fall. The pitfall does connect on the Drunken Master. And Rally goes down in the background as well. They do get the Tarot as well as the dive is maybe going to happen here. Drunken Master goes in. They are going to bring down the Gladiator as Drunken sacrifices himself for the hat trick. And it is going to be 3 players still alive against the Geomancer here. So a 4-for-2 fight in favor of the Paloma as well, Cthulhu Font.
Okay, well.
Too easy.
It's a genocide, folks. That'll do it. Cthulhu Font sacrifices his own body. The 2 supports are still up here, by the way, as they send Vorax to the top lane. They're going to try to break this tower at least before the cores do respawn here from the side of WillowKeeper. There's the glyph going to be used to stall suppression. You know, again, these are the supports. They don't push too fast, but they are still going to be able to bring down this tower.
Meanwhile, Vorax in the top lane.
Meanwhile, the big rat pushes the top lane.
Indeed.
I feel like he's always up here. Every time I check,
he's always in the top lane. Yeah. Maybe they just want to pressure that lane and they don't want to farm that lane that much. And Scrap again, by the way. Same items as last game. I think about the same time. 30-minute mark, 2 items, 330 GPM. So, yeah, I guess Scrap is just impossible to not have 300 GPM with. It's quite a good job.
Stop the rat. Moira picks up a portal key, by the way. That's kind of a really big pickup for her.
That's a huge.
That's really the only item a Moira needs to kind of increase her effectiveness. I think Taro maybe could look to invest into a Shrunken Head. What do you think? Do you think he needs one?
Yeah, I could see. He died to the Call to Arms last fight, and a lot of the damage could have been avoided by Shrunken on him, because the Malikan also died instantly. So the reason Taro died had nothing to do with the Malikan. It was all team support. The rally, the Geomancer, the Call to Arms by Gladiator. So yeah, I do think he's dying to magic damage or magic stuns. And so that would really help if he had a Shrunken Head, but he can hold his ground quite well with his current item build, but yeah, it would just allow him to hit that much more and deal that much more damage in a fight. So definitely core item here for him.
Yeah, he did go for quite a lot of build-up items this game, but still sporting a pretty solid farm. Malikan, safe to say, he's trying to get his Shrunken. He needs about another 1,000 gold for it. Gladiator, again, since his mock pickup has not followed it up with any kind of pickup, sitting on 2,000 gold. I think Shrunken heads across the board could be some options for some of these secondary core heroes. Shrunken Master finishes the Barrier Rattle, has a Soul's Bulwark now as well, so his tankiness has really increased. Didn't value the Shrunken head here. She ports into the Legion jungle. I missed that one, but
that's a bit questionable.
He didn't even have a Ward of Sight actually on him, so I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused what that was about. What?
Did he scout with his own life?
I think it's finally time I used that one.
Sure.
That one was just too confusing.
That was a bit hell of a yeah.
That was a little bit. Yeah. Anyway.
We'll need a special interview with riandro after this game.
Cut and dry, I have no idea what that was about. I can't even try to put logic to that play. But, Geomancer Arcana, is that a Hellflower?
Yeah, perhaps. I don't really see.
Not a Twin Blades.
Not a Resto Stone, no. So it is a Hellflower. Yeah. Could also be, you know.
A Harkon's Blade?
A casual Harkon's Blade.
I don't think that's what they need. But anyway,
I'll not put my money on Harkon's Blade. I'm not gonna do that. I think
okay on the Gladiator. That's
okay.
That's a good pickup, I think, so they can start to catch people because they do lack that catch. They don't have the portal key on rally. He's going for the Shrunken Head. Geomancer misses his dig into Crystal Field combo there. Moira not even portal keying away.
Like the dig stun is not long enough for Crystal Field to hit anyway. If he starts with a dig, so I don't think even if he landed the dig, it would have done anything to the Moira. But it is what it is. No picky on rally. He's going for the Shrunken now, so yeah. As I mentioned before, it's really hard for him to get his slam off without without a Shrunken Head this game. And even with a Shrunken Head, Moira can still cancel him, Drunken Master can still cancel him. So there's plenty of stuff.
Ward of Sight, I was watching Moira counter this ward here at top lane, top river. The ward expired right as she was about to do
that's so unlucky. That's minus 150 gold.
That's minus gold. That's sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad
F
for the Moira.
Chat.
That's an F in the chat. Taro did sell her Astrolabe for the Shrunken. They're looking for a fight here. Nymphora gonna get a 2-man Zeal stun. Drunken gonna avoid that one early with the debuff as he doings Nymphora into the air, and that is going to be a bursty kill for the Drunken Master. They're not done just yet though. Look at Cthulhu, man. He's got no fear. He's gonna get showdown here in the middle of the Hellborn maze. Now he did not activate his Dream of Madness yet. He does have the barbed armor, so he has that whole trinity of items. Malikan jumps in with the possession. He does not have a Shrunken Head. What is he doing? Is he gonna fall here? He's looking to hold his ground though, not trying to get feared up. Drunken Master gonna punch him in the air. He will go down as the stun in the background is gonna catch them out. Here comes a call to arms, but it is too late. There's
comes
the
out.
vote. That was very, very strange from the side of WillowKeeper. But yeah, GG's come out. Paloma gonna game 2 and the series. They built themselves this large lead in game number 2. So, final thoughts on game 2 and the series, ramaty?
Well played to Paloma. Definitely a little surprising, to be honest. I'm not very familiar with this team, so I was not sure of their skill level. I'm more familiar with WillowKeeper as the player, so I thought they're gonna have a better shot, but Paloma kind of really just outplayed them and outdrafted in the first game, I would say. And in the second game, I think it mostly came down to just play. The Hellborn draft wasn't really questionable. I think all of the heroes, their team fight was strong. Their heroes were strong. I think some of the items perhaps could have been better, but it was mostly the rotations of Legion that brought that game through. And well played to the Paloma, as you like to point out, that they have a "the" in the name.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna say MVP to Moira. I think some of these arcane vortexes were huge. So many big escapes from Legion. A lot of close calls on some of the team fights, which could have went in favor of WillowKeeper.
Right.
That was really nice to see. And also the tarot pick coming through, similar to game
Yeah.
one with the
I
Sapphire.
love
Some
to
of these
see the Sapphire and the
unconventional carry
Tarot. Yeah.
picks. Yeah,
I
that's what
love to
I
see it.
love to see. You know, these unconventional carry picks, as I call them, coming
Right.
through. So yeah, really well played to the Paloma. They're going to move on to the semifinals where they are going to meet the winner of the Doghouse versus Backdoor Protocol, which is coming up as our next series, which I think we're going to be starting really soon because I think we're behind
Yeah, we're
schedule, if
already
I'm
late.
not
Yeah.
mistaken. So we're going to go on a short break here. We're getting the lobby up for the next series. Doghouse versus Backdoor Protocol. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with our
Don't
fourth and
wanna
final
miss it.
quarterfinals match of the day.